if you've done any yoga here on MEGAMACE's YouTube channel, you know this guy.
What's
Barry
up?
Ennis is back.
We're back.
And if you haven't already checked it out, in the description below, this guy has an incredible podcast called Fitness Career Mastery that you want to check out. It's awesome. He and his wife Shay, who also got some workouts here, have been doing an incredible job with that. So check it out if you're into that side of the business. Barry,
Thank you.
Take it away, my friend. What do you got for us today?
All right, well, we're going to do a yoga flow, and I'm going to give you the option to do this with weights.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we're going to come over here.
The anti-yogi.
Strikes again.
Strikes again.
I just like to add an extra challenge into my yoga practice. Number one, because I'm an ex-athlete. I don't know, are you ever an ex-athlete?
I guess. It could be. Although yoga is very athletic.
Yeah. So I like to add athleticism into it because that feels good for me. And also, I just like to throw in an extra challenge to get me vulnerable, to get me outside of my comfort zone, because to me, that's what yoga is all about.
So these are optional, though?
Yeah, these are optional. I can already hear the comments. This is not yoga. Because automatically these are here.
We
but
have old English ladies subscribe to this channel.
That's just the voice in my head of someone who is saying that. So I'll tell you what, I went to India, I studied what is truly yoga, and it has nothing to do with the physical poses on the mat. You can do backflips on the mat, and that's yoga if you approach it the right way. You holding the camera right now, Mason, can be yoga if you approach it the right way, because it all has to do with how you relate to what it is that you're doing.
Aha!
Yoga! Let's do some yoga with the weights. So we're going to stand at the front of the mat, palms together in front of the chest, and let the eyes close. Just connect with our breath. Take an inhale. Exhale. Now you've heard me say it on the other videos, but the breath is so important to connect us to what's happening right now. And the reason that's so important is because we want to be in tune with what's happening in our body and in our mind, especially as we start to get vulnerable. Because just like anything, when we get outside of our comfort zone, that's where the magic happens. That's where we learn something new. That's where we can teach ourselves something about ourselves. So really the weights are just means to get us there a little bit faster. Take an inhale, arms come down, up and overhead. Exhale, dive over. We're just going to come through our sun salutation once together to get ourselves warmed up. Inhale, lift up halfway. Reach to the top of the head. Exhale, fold, step both feet back. Now you have the option always to lower down to the knees here. With an inhale, swoop forward. Reach to the top of your head. Exhale, tuck your chin, turn your toes under, lift your hips. Downward facing dog. Let's just hang out here for a little bit. Bending one knee, straightening the opposite leg, and breathing. Now, as I've started practicing yoga more, I've actually started seeking out situations where I'm challenged, where I feel uncomfortable, where I feel a little bit more vulnerable. And I think that's why my fitness career has taken me to India, to Dubai, and to China.
You've been all over the world.
All over the world. And it's inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. It's not comfortable being in all of these new places. It forces you to contact sides of yourself that are not always pretty to look at. Go ahead and release. Bend the knees slowly around all the way back up. Roll the shoulders around. Especially China. Man, being outside of my comfort zone there brought up a lot day to day, just interacting with people on the street. And I had to go within myself and decide how I wanted to be in those uncomfortable situations, because we know it's so easy to lash out, to quit, to run away, but to sit there and make a different choice is is really powerful. Inhale, arms down, up and overhead. Exhale, fold. Now, step your feet all the way together and sit your hips back. Reach down, grab a hold of your weights. We're going to lift our chest up, pull the elbows into the sides of our body, and we're going to start to kick the elbows back. So if you do yoga, this is chair pose. All we're doing is we're adding a little tricep kick back with the weights. We're just
So
gonna
if you don't
sit here
have
and
weights,
breathe.
you're just pulsing your arms.
You can pulse your arms, or you can just hold a traditional chair pose.
Okay.
Like I said, we're just working on getting ourselves into a state of vulnerability a little bit faster. Because what happens when we get vulnerable? That's where these thoughts start to come into our head about what we can or cannot do, right? I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. I can't is a big one. And when we get used to contacting those thoughts and showing ourselves that we are strong enough, we are good enough, we can, it becomes a little bit easier the next time we get there. Oh man, now I'm starting to feel it. I'm starting to hear those thoughts in my own head. But I have trained myself in yoga and I know that I can just let those feelings and thoughts wash over me. I don't have to get swept away, and I can choose how I'm going to respond. I mentioned it at the end of the last video. The only thing we can control is our attitude and our action. Last two, and the last one. Good. Straighten the legs. Oh, come all the way over. I can't control the burn in my arms. I can't even control the thoughts coming into my head, but what I can control is how I choose to respond from there. Lift halfway, exhale, fold, step straight back, lower down. Inhale, swoop forward, exhale, roll back. Now don't get me wrong, Mason, it doesn't mean that you're like pushing those feelings away or denying that they're there. It's actually completely the opposite. You're trying to feel them as deeply as you can.
And I also like that it is a choice that you're having your arms burn in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a powerful choice that you're willing to go there. Inhale the right leg up into the air. Exhale, pull the knee forward, set it down up between the hands. If it doesn't make it all the way up there, just grab a hold of it and hop it the rest of the way up. Now again, you have the option to do this without weights, but we're going to lift ourselves all the way up into a pseudo crescent pose here. Looks like a lunge, and already I've got a good little shake going on in my leg. So I'm going to fire up my lower body. I'm also going to fire up my upper body, keeping my elbows locked into the sides. I'm going to curl the weights up for a bicep curl.
But I notice it's your back leg that's shaking,
Yeah, that's
not your biceps. Yet.
My lower body is tired. Did a lot of yoga yesterday as well. But you know what? It's easy, especially as a yoga teacher, to feel like I shouldn't have that shake in my leg. But it's a good example that I'm not perfect either. Not that not having a shake in your leg is perfect, but I think as closer to perfect is demonstrating how powerful a response you can have to something that is uncomfortable.
And like you said, that's where change comes in. That leg is getting stronger by shaking.
Exactly. So that's what I mean by changing your focus. I can focus on the burn, I can get swept away in what my mind wants to do, which is to just quit, or I can focus on the fact that I'm getting stronger. When I'm walking down the street in China and almost get run over by a cart or something, I can focus on the frustration and get swept away in that, or I can focus on something else like fascination, being in a new culture. It's really a simple mindset shift, but it's hard. The mind is powerful, it gets swept away really easily. Excellent. Now, even though my leg is shaking, I want to work that lower body a little bit more. Hinge from the waist, tap the weights down, lift yourself all the way back up. So we are going to fire up our booty here, actually, and as we're also going to fire up our core.
What were you about to say?
I lost my train of thought because the burn is so strong. That's what happened.
That's okay, maybe we just breathe here.
That's right. That breath's getting oxygen into my leg. That's helping. It's also helping me stay focused. Be here right now. Last two, and one more. Good. Now pull those weights up in front of the chest, turn the back foot flat. It's our warrior two. Oh man, my right thigh is on fire, but I'm gonna keep powering through. Reach the arms out and all the way in.
Jeez.
Oh yeah. I think I only got a few reps right here. I'm sure you only do too. Last two, and last one. Pull it in, pivot on the back foot, the weights come down off the mat so the hands can come onto the mat. Step straight back, and oh, that right leg feels good. Inhale, and exhale back to downward facing dog. Take a few moments to breathe right here. Every time we have a moment of stillness, it's a good time to check in. Just notice how you're feeling physically, what you're thinking about or feeling emotionally. And I think what's most interesting is that as we get vulnerable physically, stuff from off of the mat starts to pop up in our mind as well. Other areas of our life where we're feeling a little vulnerable. For me, it's being back in the US, I was in China for 3 years. It's been a really rough transition coming back here. Every day is a struggle. Getting reintegrated, getting back into life here in the US, connecting with my network again, building new relationships. All right, take a look up between the hands. Step both feet up, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold, inhale all the way up. Exhale, bring your palms together. And I'm just gonna boogie to the other side of the mat here and turn around. And I'm gonna take my weights with me so you guys can see the other side clearly. And the full shake of my legs. Inhale, arms down, up and overhead. Exhale, dive over. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, step both feet back, lower down. Inhale, up. And exhale, back. Inhale, the left leg comes up into the air. Exhale, set the foot down, up between the hands. Find your strong base, grab your weights, and come all the way up again. This time, we're gonna curl the weights up to the shoulders, open the elbows off to the sides, and then just press those weights overhead. Exhale, inhale. Now your tendency is gonna be to straighten your legs. Keep bending that front knee, powering through the back heel. Getting vulnerable here on the mat teaches us so much. Mind is always going to stray towards what's easy, and it's much easier to straighten my leg. And I'm going to make that choice to stay in that vulnerable space. 2. Last one. Awesome. Drop the weights down to the sides. Let's work that booty again. Inhale. Tap the weights. Exhale, pull. Inhale. Exhale. And if you're doing this without weights, you're just hinging from the waist. You can keep the arms extended behind you. So I'm noticing that burn come into my left thigh again. I'm also noticing the thoughts. Just stop. You don't need to keep going. Anything worth achieving is not easy in the beginning. I think about other areas of my life, like Mason, you mentioned fitness career mastery. It's a new business, and it's hard running a business, especially a new one. I've definitely had that same thought that I'm having right now. It'd be so much easier just to stop.
That's what I knew where you were going.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Or, you can relate it to anything, like maybe you're having a fight with your friend. It's a lot easier not to apologize or not to extend the olive branch. It's easier to hold a grudge. But anything worth achieving, it's not easy in the beginning. And aside from giving you really strong legs, I'm hoping to give you a strong mind as well. So you can contact those other moments in your life that are challenging a little bit differently. Last one. Come all the way up. Pull the weights up, turn the back foot flat. I know that thigh is burning. It's burning for me too. Change the way you think about it as you reach the arms out and in. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just your best. See, the tendency here is to let the mind drift away into something else. Stay with your breath. Keeps you right here. Keeps you with the burn. Keeps you with what's happening inside. Last time. Extend, pull it in, and then release the weights down off the mat. Step straight back, and let's flow all the way through. Oh, that feels good. Inhale. Exhale back to down dog. Inhale, hands and knees. Exhale back to child's pose. Oh, that's a good stretch on the quads right there, which really fired up in that little flow. Feel your heart rate come down as your breath slows down. And let your mind calm down and realize that that moment really wasn't as bad as you thought it was once you're out of it. That's something to remember as well. Woo. Wow, we did it. And I know you're feeling the same thing that I'm feeling right now, which is this huge sense of relief having made it through. And that's what doing this teaches us, that when we're in a difficult situation, if we just put forward our best effort, it's going to pass and it's not going to seem so bad at the end. And if we keep coming back and practicing this, we're going to find ourselves moving through any challenge in our life with less friction, more peace of mind, and a lot more inner power and strength. So just want to thank you for being with me here today. Mason, thanks for the opportunity.
Friend, entrepreneur, yogi, and podcaster. Thanks for joining us. Thank you again to Barry Ennis, and we'll see you soon.
See you next time.
Hey, before you go, I just want to say I know you're serious about your health and fitness because you just finished that workout. And I want to give you a free gift to help you accelerate and crush those fitness goals. My name's Mason Bendewald, and I produced and directed P90X, Daily Burn, 10-Minute Trainer, and hundreds of other workouts, getting a gazillion people in the best shape of their lives. And now I want to help you do the same thing. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you as a free gift a MEGAMACE members only workout. It's a premium workout and there is no catch. All you have to do is click on the link below in the descriptions, do the workout, and start getting results. All right, if you haven't already, please click on that little bell here on YouTube. Set your notifications so you never miss a free MEGAMACE workout. You can also subscribe, leave us a comment, give us the old thumbs up. We really appreciate that. But whatever you do, don't miss out on this free video so you can accelerate and start crushing those goals. I'm Mason Bendewell. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful day.